With us now from Phoenix is Rick Davis, who was one of Senator McCain's closest confidants. He was a longtime aide who served as national campaign manager both times McCain ran for president. He was with the McCain family this past weekend. Rick, good to see you. Let's start first with, I know you were with the McCain family recently. What was it like to be with him in his final days?
Well, it was a great pleasure for me to be counted as one of the family over the last week. You know, we've been together almost since these kids were born, and to have spent a lot of time over the last 6 months in and out of their beautiful place in Sedona with the family, with Cindy and the kids, was probably the greatest opportunity in my life to sort of see closure with what has been the greatest, wildest adventure, I think, in anybody's history. So it was really wonderful to be included. I really appreciate it. As heartbreaking as it was, I can't imagine wanting to be anywhere else.
What is the best way that we could honor and pay tribute to him, Rick, as someone who knew him well?
Well, Gayle, I think yesterday was great testament to what that tribute is looking like. I don't think I've ever seen a Sunday, you know, where there was only one report, and that was all about John McCain. He would have loved that. I mean, he loved the media. He felt really strongly about having total access to all of you. And as a political strategist for him for over 20 years, that was a nightmare for me most of the time. But he would have loved it. He would have absolutely loved it. And I don't think he would have spent 2 minutes away from the television set watching all the coverage. It was just glorifying. And around the world, I mean, every media outlet in every country and every capital, you know, spent the day talking about John McCain, and that was really a special thing.
Rick, one of his colleagues said yesterday that we're losing John McCain right when we need him the most, which may account for the extraordinary outpouring of affection from both sides. And you get the sense from John Dickerson's piece that John McCain was kind of aware of that in his last year. Did you get that sense?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of John's life was spent in the arena. I mean, he was the man in the arena. He loved it. The harder it was, the better he liked it. And I think it was a bit of a bittersweet situation for him for the last 6 months. He was in a beautiful place, surrounded by his family, fighting, you know, cancer, and every day wishing he was in the well of that Senate, trying to make America a better place. And he had great opportunities in some of the speeches in the last year to really use the opportunity to crystallize some of those messages. And I'm so proud that he was able to do that, you know, in Philadelphia at the Medal of Freedom Award and in Annapolis, the places he really loved.
And Rick, Senator McCain requested that both former Presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush speak and deliver eulogies at his funeral. These were the two men that kept him from the presidency. Why did he want them to eulogize him?
I think it's a very practical thing. John Dickerson alluded to it when he tells these stories and he lives his life. You know, there are things he experienced himself, right? It's not just somebody else's story that's a message to the people. It's his life story. And his life story is, even in defeat, he found ways to working with people like George Bush and Barack Obama. And in a world that has turned, you know, red and blue and nothing in between, even as he planned his own funeral, he felt very strongly that he wanted to have these two individuals who he grew to respect and work with closely to try and accomplish important things for the country and the world, to be present at his funeral.
And the decision the family's decision not to include President Trump at the funeral too, it also says something, does it not?
Well, we really want to focus on the positive aspects of John's life, and I'd prefer not to get into any of that at this point.
All right, Rick Davis, totally understand that. Thank you very much for joining us.